Hello students, in this video we shall see how to construct DFSMs for modulo K-counter problems. We know that DFSMs can be constructed for three types of problems. First one, the pattern recognition problems. The second one, divisible by K problems. These two were dealt of in the previous classes and videos. So in this video, I will explain how do we construct DFSM for modulo K-counter problems. To construct a DFSM for the modulo K-counter problem, we follow three steps. The first one is to identify the number of states which we require for the DFSM. The second step is to identify the start state and the final state. Final state or states. This can be even states. And then we design the DFSM. The third step is to design the DFSM. So first we identify the number of states which we require for the DFSM. Then we identify the start state and the final state. And then finally go ahead with designing the DFSM. I'll take an example to explain this concept of DFSM construction. The question is to construct a DFSM to accept strings of even number of A's. We have to construct a DFSM to accept strings of even number of A's. So we know that the alphabet is only A. For this alphabet, we construct the DFSM, which can be also written as L is equal to W. W consists of all strings which are even in number and only A's. W has got even number of A's, only A's. So what's the first step in DFSM construction for a modulo K-counter problem is to identify the number of states. Okay. Now, the string W can have even number of A's or it can have odd number of A's. But whatever is the case, it will result in only two states or two cases. Okay. Now, we can consider a string W. We just have a string W which can be formed by A's. So we know that whenever we are forming strings of A's, it can be odd number of A's or it can be even number of A's. Only these two cases. This is our first case, this is our second case. And these cases are converted as states. We have to convert these cases as states. So the first case, 0, is to accept strings that are even in number. Okay, strings which accept even number of A's. And we write it like this. We know that a state is represented by a circle, a labeled circle. So E represents even number of A's. And case 1 is to accept odd number of A's. So there is another state which we label it as O, and this is a state which accepts odd number of A's. So we have got two cases which are converted as two states, one which accepts even number of A's and the other which accepts odd number of A's. The second step in the construction of modulo K-counter problem is to identify the start state and the final state. Okay, we've already seen that there will be two cases. One is an even state and the other is an odd state. Okay, now when we are constructing even number of A's, strings with even number of A's, so what will be the language which is constructed? We can have L equal to, okay, it is even strings. So these are the number of A's which we can have. So it's empty epsilon which represents 0. It will be 2 A's or it will be 4 A's, goes on, right? So the first symbol which we have in the language is epsilon. So before reading any input symbols, the number of A's will be 0, which represent even number of A's. So the state E with even number of A's is the start state. Okay, we start the language with a 0 string. 0 belongs to an even number. Therefore, E which represents even number of A's will be the start state. Since it is required to accept even number of A's, the state E which accepts even number of A's is also the final state. This is what we have to design, even number of A's only. So the start state and the end state or the final state will be state E. Once we identify the start state and the final state, it is very easy to design the DFSM. Okay, transitions are easily identified and we can go ahead with designing the DFSM. We know that once we have the start state and the final states, then it is easy to identify all the transitions. Okay, let us consider the start state E. Now in the start state, if we read an input A, we know that we are reading the first input A, so it will result in odd number of A's. Therefore, from the start state E, we go to the odd state O. We go to another state, which is the second state in the DFSM, which we have, that is state O. And the transition is like this. Delta on state E, if we read our first A, then we go to a odd state. So we know that there were two states. State E was our start state as well as the final state, and we read only one symbol on this, the first A. So when we read the first A, it goes to the odd state. Now from state O, in case we read another A, then it will result in even number of A's. So we have to change the state from O to E. Therefore, on state O, that is an odd state, if we are to read A as the input, then we go to the even state. This was our first single input transition. Now on this state O, in case we were to read another A, then what will happen? It will result in even number of A's. We have our first A here and this will be our second A. Therefore, M, which is our DFSM for a modulo key counter problem, or in specific for a DFSM which accepts even number of A's, is given as this. So when there is our first A, that is odd A, we go to the odd state, and the moment the odd state receives another input A, we go to the even state, and this process goes on for n number of A's. Therefore, Q stands for the states in the DFSM, which is two states, even state and odd state. Sigma is the input alphabet. We have only one alphabet, A. Delta stands for all the transitions. If we are to write a list of transitions, then we had two transitions, that is on state A, E, if we give a A, it goes to the odd state, and on odd state, if we give a A, then we go to the even state. This is the list of transition, and in case we are to write a transition table, then it is a single input. E is our start state as well as final state. On state E, if we are to give A, it goes to odd state, and in the odd state, in case we give a A, we go to the even state. Q naught, which is supposed to be a start state, instead we write it as E here. This is our start state, and F stands for final state. Since it is a set of states, we can have set of states. Here in this diagram, E itself is the final state. The DFSM to obtain odd number of A's can be obtained by making the O state, okay, that's the odd state as the final state and E as the start state. We know that in case we are talking about odd number of A's, then the language will be either 1A, 3A's, 5A's, 7A's, 9A's, etc. And what is the minimum string which we have? It is 1A. 1A. Therefore, the DFSM, the final DFSM is like this. So, in case we are drawing the skeleton DFSM, then we have on state A, which is our start state, we give A, the first input, which goes to state O, and since A is the minimum string, this becomes our final state. So, in case on state O, if we are giving an input, then it goes to the even state. Okay, we finish with two strings. This 2 A's. This does not belong to the language. The next string which belongs to the language is 3 A's. So it will be first A, second A, third A, and this is a final state. So it goes on like this. Let us take another example of a modulo key counter problem which goes like this. Construct a DFSM to accept the language L equal to W, where W mod 3, length of W mod 3 is equal to 0, having sigma equal to A. Okay, therefore the alphabet over which we construct the DFSM is sigma equal to A. This indicates that this language interpretation indicates that we have got strings of multiples of 3A's, right? A is your alphabet, okay? And length of W mod 3 should be equal to 0. Should be equal to 0. This means that you need to have 3A's or 6A's or 9A's and so on. Okay. Now we know that the first step in the DFSM construction is to identify the states. Since we have already seen the interpretation that this language consists of strings such that the number of A's in the string is divisible by 3. Since we are talking about divisible by 3, we can have 3 cases or 3 remainders. In other words, whenever we divide any number or a string by 3, we can have 3 remainders. It can be either 0 as a remainder, 1 as a remainder, or 2 as the remainder. So we take those 3 cases. The first one is a case 0 where the results are remainder 0. So for this particular case, we take a state representation as Q0. Now in the case 1, the results are remainder 1. We use a case Q1 as the state representation, and in the case 2 where we have remainder 2, it will result in a state representation as Q2. The second step in the construction of modulo k counter problem is to identify the start state and the final state. Now, before we read any input symbols, the number of A's will be equal to 0. Now when we are taking this condition, this was our given question, and when we are taking this condition, this stands for length. When we divide the length of the strings which are in this language by 3, we need to get a remainder 0. And these are the strings which have to be accepted by the DFSM. In other words, we need to construct the DFSM for those strings whose length when we divide by 3 equates to 0. So here the minimum string for this will be equal to the 0 length string. Okay. After that it will be length 3, then 6, then 9, etc. Therefore, taking this minimum string, minimum length string 0 mod 3 will be equal to 0. Now we know that 0 mod 3, if 0 is the remainder, then it comes as case 1, case 0, right? In the previous slide, we had seen the 3 cases of remainders. So we had one case 0 remainder, then the second case is 1 remainder, and the third case is 2 remainder when we divide any string length with the value 3. So since 0 is the minimum string and 0 mod 3 is equal to 0, we consider Q0 as the start state because case 0 is represented by Q0 state. Okay. Now, since it is required to accept strings of A's such that the length of W mod 3 is equal to 0, and this again results in 0 case. We have to accept all those strings whose remainder value turns 0. Okay. So this actually equates to case number 0, where again Q0 is the state representation of case 0. Therefore, Q0 itself will be the start state as well as the final state. Now the third step is to design the DFSM. Now we know that Q naught was our start state, or we consider Q naught as one state whose remainder, this is a state with remainder value 0. We had three values, remainder values 0, 1 and 2. Okay. In order to begin the DFSM, we consider this as the start state. Okay. Now on this start state, we give an input A, because this is a DFSM which accepts only input A value. Okay. Now what happens to this? It is going to another state Q1. Okay. That is, it is having 1 as the remainder. So this is a string with length 1, right? Okay. The moment we have a string with length 1, what happens? From case 0, which was denoted as Q naught, we go to remainder 1. That is case 1, which is denoted by Q1. And the transition goes like this. On state Q naught, if we give a, we go to Q1 state. So this Q1 state is for all those strings whose remainder value is 1. Okay. Now since this is also the final state, I will depict it like this. Okay. Now this was our DFSM for case 1, right? Case 1 stands for remainder 1. Therefore the DFSM for case 1 is represented like this. Now on this Q naught state, we have seen the input A. So now we'll have to check on Q1 state, because we know that on for a DFSM, on each state we check the input. So in case from the remainder 1 state, okay, that is Q naught state, if we are to read an input A, okay, we go to remainder 2 state. Remainder 2 state is represented by Q2. What is that remainder 2? We had seen input 1, okay. Now this is input 2, which means it is 2 A's. Therefore length 2 mod 3 is equal to 2, and 2 is represented, remainder 2 is represented by Q2 state. Transition is given like this. On state Q1, if you give an A, we go to Q2 state. Now we have already seen the two remainder cases. So when we had a 0 remainder and when we had a 1 remainder, then we also saw when we had a 2 remainder. Now consider that on Q2 state, you are giving A. Okay. So what is the length? We are already in this state. We have seen 2 A's. We have seen this 1A and this is our second A. Now we are seeing our third A, that is on Q2 state. What happens to the length of the string? It is 3. So 3 mod 3 will be equal to 0, and this goes to case 0 whose state representation is given as Q naught. Therefore, in state Q2 we see a, then we move back to Q naught state. And the state transition is given as, on Q2 state, if we give an A, we move to Q naught state, because 3 mod 3, 3 stands for the length of the string, or 3 A's, 3 mod 3 will be equal to 0, and in case it is 0, it refers to case 0, which is state Q naught. So the DFSM for accepting a language L which consists of string W such that the length of W mod 3 is equal to 0 is given by M equal to Q sigma delta Q naught and F, where Q stands for all the states of the DFSM, sigma stands for the input alphabet, delta stands for all the transitions, the state transition diagram we use the state transition diagram in order to identify all transitions. Therefore, only one input, and we have three states where Q0 is our start state as well as the final state. On Q0, when we give an A, it goes to Q1 state. On Q1, if we give an A, the DFSM moves to Q2 state, and on Q2, if it sees an A, it goes to Q0 state. And Q0 is the start state. F which is the final state, is represented again by Q0. Okay. The same problem can be represented in some other means. Okay, the language can be constructed in either L equal to W, where length of W mod 3 is equal to 0. This is the way in which it was given to us. We can also have the other representation where the number of A's in W are divisible by 3. This stands for number of A's in W are divisible by 3, or we can also write it as A is equal to 3 to the power n, where n is greater than equal to 0. So the same question can be represented in three different formats.